when we are living our lives, we are kind of inside that bubble of life that we have created for ourselves, and we're in that place we are. And when we become so busy and focused on the life we're living, we can lose a certain level of objectivity because we have wants, we have desires, we have goals. We can become so caught up in what we are trying to accomplish, what we want to accomplish, the things we want to have, and the pleasures that these things offer us, that we can lose a level of objectivity. How do I assure myself, or how do I know that I'm really being objective in my decisions? If I'm really choosing what's best for me and what will ultimately enhance the quality of my life and won't be distracting or detracting from the quality of life and what I'm trying to really accomplish. So the only way to reach real objectivity is not to be involved. I will see what I want to see. I will choose what I want to choose. But to reach a real level of free choice and a real level of objective choice, I have to divorce myself from that calculative process. But how do I do that? For example, last week we spoke about getting married. One of the explanations as to why Abraham did not send Isaac to go get his own wife is because once you start to see the potential wives you have to choose from, so once you like what you see, that will manipulate what you think. Your objectivity will be swayed. You know, how many times are we going after what we want and the appearance of something, it kind of draws us in? What kind of car do you want? When you choose the kind of car you like, your favorite car, is it because you research what kind of engine it has and what kind of processing it has and what kind of brake? You look at the car and decide, this is my favorite car because I like the way it looks. Is that really the best car for you? Is that really the best mechanical car? Maybe, maybe not. But certainly the cars we choose in the end are, a big part of it is what they look like and less of what their performance actually is and whether that performance matches what I need. I may have bought a car that can go from 0 to 200 miles an hour like that, but I'm never going to do that. So what do I have a car that does that for? For no reason whatsoever, because I like the way it looks and I like the idea that I get attention in that car. But what about, justifying spending a lot of money on a car? Maybe a very luxurious car that you're going to spend a lot of time in. Maybe you drive a lot and you want to be comfortable when you drive. And you can have this extremely comfortable car. It's expensive, yes, but at least you're gaining a practical benefit. There's justification in spending a lot of money on a car that will give you that comfort and peace of mind and relaxation when you're making your road trips. But just to have a car because of the way it looks or because of how fast it can go in 0 to 60 and you'll never use that is choosing a car for the wrong reasons. Now take this lesson from the car and apply it to all of the rest of the aspects of your life. Choosing a home, choosing a marriage partner, choosing a career, choosing what to do with your recreational time. We have to make sure we're making the right choices. Are they good choices for me? Or are they just a result of me being a prisoner to my wants, and those wants are just pulling me in many different directions and I'm getting nowhere? Am I really in charge of my choice? Or am I just being a program choosing the way this pinball machine gets bounced around? And so how do we accomplish that clarity of thought? So I think it's hinted to in this first word of this week's Parsha. When it says, Vayetzei, go out. When Jacob went out, we can appreciate it like this. I have to take a step outside of myself and my life and take a topside view. Once it's not my life, once I'm not invested, once I'm not looking to see what I can gain or lose, I can look objectively at my situations and make real choices. It's the idea of doing a real cheshbon nefesh, taking a true accounting of who you are, and where you're trying to get. And the only way to do it is to step out. So we momentarily take a step out of our life in order to then go back into our life more fully and with more of a clear direction. And we have another hint to this, a very interesting idea. The sages tell us that we all must see ourselves as if we left Egypt, right? And it's an instruction for every year, every generation, even every day. We constantly must see ourselves as if we went out of Egypt. So what is Egypt? I've never been to Egypt. Have you been to Egypt? What is Egypt? Egypt is a concept. Egypt means to be limited, to be trapped in our own mind, in our own desires. We're trapped in our body sometimes. So there are many levels of the idea of appreciating what it means to be trapped. So now, what does it mean to go out of Egypt? It's exactly what we said. When we say that Jacob went out of himself, going out of our own Egypt is going out of this idea of being trapped within my natural programmed lifestyle. Take a step out and take a reevaluation and now jump back into my life as a free thinking, free choosing person. The only way to reach that level of true choice and real freedom of thought is to break out of that confinement which we get trapped in. So going out of Egypt on a daily basis and going out like Jacob did is essentially this same idea, to do a cheshbon, to take an analysis of who you are and where you're going and make the corrections that you have to make now. Because if you wait until the end of your life, when you really go out of your life, which means when you die and you're showing your life in heaven, you're going to regret not addressing this sooner, because you're going to have a full life of avoidable mistakes you could have woken up to and avoided if you just took notice, if you just took a real look at who you were and where you were going. But by ignoring that and pushing it off until your last days arrive, then you'll only have, in retrospect, a life full of regret. So do it now and save yourself that future regret and have a life that you will be happy and proud of instead.